The kiss lingers in the air as Dylan and Lillian stand in the living room, both frozen, unable to fully process what just happened. The silence is thick with tension. That was unexpected. What's next, the magic trick? Are you hiding a hat behind your back? I'm allergic to rabbits, so unless you want me dead, I'd skip that. She lets out a nervous laugh, trying to lighten the mood. Dylan looks pained, his gaze fixed on the floor. I'm sorry, it was stupid. Sorry about the kiss or the fact that you just revealed some undisclosed feelings for me? Dylan avoids her gaze, shuffling towards the door. Both. I can't. I'm so sorry. It's not a big deal. Let's just talk this out. Lots of men find me attractive. I mean, how hot am I? Dylan remains expressionless, his mood somber. Dude, please tell me you know I was kidding. Dylan continues moving towards the door, his face set in determination. I need to go. Where? To see a therapist so they can prescribe pills to forget this moment? Because just so you know, those don't exist. You might want to consider jumping headfirst into cement instead. It might work better. She chuckles, trying to ease the awkwardness. Dylan opens the front door, his back to her. I need some space. He steps outside, closing the door behind him. The sound of the door clicking shut echoes through the empty apartment. Lillian stands there staring at the door, a mix of frustration and resignation on her face. The morning sun filters through the window of Dylan's parked car. Dylan sits behind the wheel, looking distressed, his face buried in his hands. A knock on the window startles him. He looks up to see Vinny holding a bag of muffins and coffee, but Dan is standing beside him. April and Veronica are seen heading towards Dylan's apartment, likely to talk to Lillian.
Sorry about this morning. We got your text. How you holding up?
I was so stupid. How could I just...
Hey, calm down. We all do dumb stuff when we're in love.
I'm not in love with her. Who said anything about being in love?
Stupid like that time you jumped from 30 meters to prove you were tough enough to protect Veronica from creeps.
Alright, if you're gonna start dragging up embarrassing moments, I'll take my muffins and I'll leave.
Embarrassing? The real embarrassment was losing your shorts the second you hit the water. There's even been a petition for travelers to wear belts now.
Are we done with the embarrassing stories?
Anyway, how did Lillian seem after the, kiss? If she puked, I hate to break it to you, but you're probably not dating her.
I don't know. I just had to get out of there.
You know what you need?
Don't you say it.
You need a bros weekend. I've got a cabin in a secluded spot. How does 3 nights away sound? It'll help you clear your head. Plus, I hear reporters are gonna start running stories on you today, so you need to lay low for a bit.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Vinny's right. A few nights away could do you good. We might even get to the bottom of your feelings for Lillian.
You know what? Why not? What's the worst that can happen?
A bear's eating us in our sleep.
Great, now we're adding anxiety to the mix. Let's try to keep it light.
I'll tell Veronica and April to let them know where we're heading.
I'll go upstairs, grab your luggage, then we'll head out.
Dylan nods, the tension easing a bit as he accepts the muffins and coffee from Vinny. He manages a small smile, feeling slightly better about the day ahead. Veronica and April sit at the kitchen table with Lillian, who has prepared scones and tea. Veronica takes a hearty bite of a scone while April savors her tea. These scones are delightful. Can I call you Mom now? And this tea, it's like Gandhi made it. Or, well, something less controversial than that.
Lillian smiles, though there's a hint of discomfort in her expression.
Oh, thank you, ladies. But you really don't have to be here. I'm okay, really. Look, Dylan isn't rejecting you. I didn't think he was. Has he said something? He might have texted my husband about the kiss.
Lillian sighs, her expression growing serious.
I'm 35 years old. I'm a bit past playing games. If you have something to say, please just say it. We're just trying to understand your intentions with Dylan. I've known him for 18 years. My mother, bless her soul, was your father-in-law's housekeeper. My intentions have always been to be by his side and help him navigate through tough times. And that's it? No plan to claim him for yourself or declare your love? No. I serve the people I care about, and that's all. Dylan is a good man, and he deserves someone better than just a housekeeper.
Veronica and April exchange a concerned look, their worry evident. Vinny's car pulls up to a halt, dust swirling as the tires settle on the gravel. He unlocks the doors and Dylan steps out, stretching from the long drive. His gaze locks onto the river just beyond the trees, shimmering in the afternoon light. He stares at it for a beat, as if drawn by an unseen force. Without a word, Dylan starts stripping first his shorts, then his t-shirt, and finally his shoes, leaving a trail of clothes behind him.
You might want to rethink that, man.
Yeah, trust me, I wouldn't do it if I were you.
But Dylan doesn't listen. He sprints towards the river, grinning like a kid about to dive into summer fun. He leaps off the edge and into the water with a splash.
Oh, fuck, that's freezing. Shit, fuck.
His bravado vanishes as he frantically swims back to the riverbank, teeth chattering and body shaking.
Next time you get a bright idea, maybe think it through first. Save yourself some dignity.
Dylan drags himself out of the water, dripping, shivering as he stumbles towards the cabin.
Hey, welcome to the great outdoors. Where you freeze your balls off for fun.
Vinny heads to the front door, unlocking it, and the group steps inside. Dylan, still shivering, steps inside and his eyes widen. The cabin is enormous. Far bigger than he'd expected, with high ceilings and rustic charm.
It's massive. Is this the TARDIS? Yeah, that's what she said.
I'll get the fire going before you catch pneumonia, genius.
Dylan rubs his arms, still dripping water, as Dan moves to the fireplace. Vinny walks over to a nearby closet and pulls out some towels, tossing one to Dylan.
Dry off. We got the whole weekend ahead of us, preferably without any more dumbass jumps into freezing rivers.
Dylan catches the towel and starts drying himself off, managing a sheepish grin as the fire crackles to life. Veronica, April, and Lillian lie on massage tables. Soft music playing in the background. Jorge, a masseuse, works his magic on Lillian, who tries to appear relaxed, though tension lingers in her body.
Really, ladies, I told you, I don't need to be pampered. I'm perfectly relaxed. We believe that more if you weren't holding back a scream of delight every time Jorge touches you.
Lillian winces slightly as Jorge presses into her shoulder.
He's a bit intense.
Who's intense, Jorge or Dylan? Lillian sighs, trying to deflect.
Dylan. He loves me too hard. He meets someone and immediately wonders if they can fit into his perfect image he's built, like his mom and stepdad's marriage. He's been fixated on creating that world for as long as I can remember.
Veronica, head turning slightly, watches Lillian closely.
And do you think he sees that with you? I'm not even in the race. The marathon might be on, but I'm in boots and leather. I'm not running anywhere. Oh, come on. How is he with you? Rock stars have a certain reputation. Bon Jovi's full of stories.
Lillian chuckles, softening a bit.
Dylan's not like that. He's sweet, respectful, kind, always has been. But he's not the man you want, huh? Are you a lesbian? No. I've had relationships with men. I'm just not interested in dealing like that.
April sits up on her elbows, eyes narrowed with curiosity.
Someone who's lived under the same roof as him and hasn't fallen for him? You must be denying your feelings for a reason. What is it? Yeah, spill. What's the reason?
Lillian takes a deep breath, the tension showing in her face.
There's no reason. Lillian!
Lillian sighs, sitting up and grabbing her towel, clearly frustrated.
Fine. I'm not pretty enough for him, okay? I've seen the models, the actresses, the women he's dated. How can I compete with that? I'm just a housekeeper. I've got a son in college. I'm not some glamorous woman with experience in his world. And even if something did happen between us, it would ruin everything. I'd lose my job. I wouldn't be able to pay for Sergio's tuition. I'd lose everything I care about.
She stands, throwing the towel over her shoulder.
That's why Dylan isn't an option for me. Never will be.
Lillian walks out of the spa, leaving Veronica and April exchanging worried glances.
If you're enjoying this episode of The Amazing Dylan Hendrix, don't forget to subscribe to That Love podcast on your favorite listening platform. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Vinny listens to a voicemail on his phone while Dylan, freshly showered and dressed in new clothes, enters the cabin. Dan tends to the fire, which crackles softly, casting a warm glow in the room. Dylan sits down, rubbing his hands together as he stares into the fire.
So, had time to think? What are your intentions with Lillian?
Dylan lets out a deep sigh, shaking his head.
I have no idea, Vinny. And honestly, this isn't some episode of Gossip Girl. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, come on, man, be real. I've known her for years. We've had moments, but she never wanted to go beyond that. It's not like I haven't tried.
Well, tried how? Like, hey babe, let's grab dinner outside of you cooking it?
Dylan laughs, the tension easing a little.
I did. But she always focused on her son, Sergio. He's been her top priority, nothing else. Now that he's out of the picture, what's your plan?
Dylan looks down, his voice soft.
I think it's time to call it quits with her.
As he says this, Vinny's phone buzzes. He answers it and puts the call on speaker. Veronica and April are standing outside Lillian's apartment. Veronica sneaks the phone against the door. It's on speaker, playing the conversation between Vinny and Dylan.
Oh, well, what do you actually like about Lillian?
Dylan sighs, rubbing the back of his neck as he speaks from the heart.
I don't know. She's real. She's warm, kind, loving. She's beautiful. She picks me up when I'm down. She never lets anyone take care of her, even when she's sick or exhausted. She gives so much of herself, and people just stomp on it. I've never done that, and I never will. She means the world to me. She's the woman Billy Joel sings about. You know, she's got a way, she's the one.
At that moment, the door to Dylan's apartment opens. Lillian stands in the doorway, tears streaming down her face, having heard every word.
She heard everything.
Dylan, still in the cabin, reacts with shock.
Veronica, did you just set me up?
Yep, bye.
Veronica hangs up and Vinny follows suit, putting his phone away.
What in the hell was that?
Look, man, we think it's important for both of you to be honest. Lay your cards on the table, that way you'll have a clear picture of where things stand.
Dylan stands up abruptly, pacing.
I need a walk.
Buddy, we were trying to help you.
He's right. We just want you to be happy.
Dylan glares at them, his voice sharp.
You stay the hell away from me.
He grabs his jacket, storms out of the cabin, leaving Dan and Vinny in stunned silence. The moonlight filters through the trees. Dylan sits on a low fishing ledge by the cabin, checking his watch. He stands and begins walking towards the cabin. Vinny, on the porch in a rocking chair, watches him with concern.
So, you've had some time to think about it, maybe think it over? And you're still holding a grudge against us despite our intentions to help?
Nah, you care. You're looking out for me, and that's more than anyone's ever done. So I'll thank you and do a Tupac. I ain't mad at you. Vinny chuckles, relieved.
So you're thinking of asking her out then?
I'm thinking of getting to know her better first, see where things go from there. Rushing into things isn't on the agenda right now. Nice and easy. That's the plan.
I think Sinatra suits you better. You wouldn't have put it any other way. Proud of you.
Thanks. Dylan checks his watch again, his expression darkens.
Damn it, no it can't be.
Dan walks out of the cabin, noticing Dylan's distress.
What's up?
We need to head back tonight.
Tonight? Why so soon? You just said we were ready to take things slow with Lillian.
I know, but every year I write a song for a charity. They auction the rights to a celebrity, and the proceeds go to feeding orphans around the world. I have a meeting with the charity head tomorrow morning. She called to confirm last night as I was heading to Jersey.
Can't you tell her you're still out here?
Yeah, it's pretty late for a drive. I drive like Stevie Wonder on a country road at night, so it's not wise.
All right. We'll delay until tomorrow afternoon, but we need to go first thing.
Just do me a favor. Call Lily and let her know your decision so she isn't waiting anxiously.
I'll call her now. Thanks.
Dylan heads into the cabin, pulls out his cell phone and dials Lillian's number. Lillian sits in a cozy armchair engrossed in a book. Her cell phone rings, jolting her from her reading. She glances at the caller ID, takes a deep breath, and answers.
Hey, I was just thinking about you. Not like that. Just, in a normal, non-romantic way. Nothing sexual.
Dylan chuckles on the other end.
Relax, I know what you meant. Are you calling to let me down easy?
No. I'm calling to tell you that we need to go slow. I've just come out of a relationship. I don't know where my head is right now. I need time to process things. And once I do, I'll have a clearer picture of what I want out of life.
So what percentage of that picture includes me?
Lillian, you are the heart of my every dream. Right now, I need to find a place where I can fully embrace and nurture what we share. Until I'm there, just remember that my heart is all in. No matter the distance or time apart, you will always be my soulmate. You are my everything, now and forever. Lillian absorbs his words, a faint smile touching her lips.
I'm a little relieved and glad to hear that.
Now on to other things. Jessica and Louise Johnson are best friends, right?
Oh, please don't bring up those two devils in my presence.
Listen, I have a meeting with Louise tomorrow. She wants us to write another song for a charity,
but you need me to check if it's a legitimate and not a con.
Exactly.
Do you want me to get to your lawyers on this? I don't think they'll need a shovel, more like a teaspoon, really, but...
Remind me, who hired my lawyers again?
Jessica?
Right.
Okay, my cousin is a private investigator. I'll ask him to look into Louise and report back.
Thank you. I'll call you tomorrow. You have a great night.
You too. And, thanks for letting me down easy.
I wasn't letting you down. I was giving myself the space needed to heal and grow so I can focus on loving someone I deeply care about better. That's how much you mean to me. Never forget that, Lillian.
Dylan hangs up. Lillian smiles softly, her heart warmed by his words. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Amazing Dylan Hendrix. All the characters were voiced by me, Emerson Peary. The show was written, produced, and edited by Joao Nasita. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with family and friends and make sure to subscribe to That Love Podcast wherever you listen. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day, wherever you are.